Hey, how about it, race fans? Richard Allen of motorsportsreport.net coming at you with what I'm going to call first take. My immediate reaction after watching a particular race, and tonight's race was the Peach Bowl at the Senoia Raceway, the Flow Racing Night in America sanctioned event, where Jonathan Davenport came out the $20,000 winner. Davenport staying hot after picking up a couple of wins with the World of Outlaws last weekend at the dirt track at Charlotte. You can go to motorsportsreport.net and catch the summary of the race where I got qualifying results, heat race results, B main results, and the feature results, as well as a summary of what all took place during the feature. Some interesting happenings took place in this race. Davenport was just being Jonathan Davenport. He got out, he led all 50 laps of the race. He would pull out the big leads, but there were just caution after caution. Had quite a few restarts that he had to overcome, and he had one major mishap almost on his own there, just around the halfway mark. Had Zach Mitchell and Tyler Millwood had a little mishap, a little incident between the two of them, and Davenport wound up getting caught in it. He had to spin to avoid being caught up in the wreck. Series officials allowed him to take his spot back on the restart, so he maintained the lead after that, but definitely a close call. And Davenport just picked up where he left off last week in Charlotte during the World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte, where he was dominant on both Friday night and Saturday night out there after Hudson O'Neal had won on Thursday. Then it's going to be a close points race, so you have another one, the Peach State Classic, which will pay $30,000 to win at Senoia tomorrow night on Saturday. And the points battle coming in, Bobby Pierce led the points coming in by a fairly good margin over Davenport, with Davenport winning, and Bobby Pierce finished seventh on the rundown. Then that's going to tighten that up and have a close points race tomorrow. See who's going to win the championship. I think that championship pays $75,000 to win, so pretty big deal. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at for sure. So those two guys will be going for a nice payday. And speaking of Bobby Pierce, we said that Davenport had a close call when he had to avoid the tangle between Tyler Millwood and Zach Mitchell, but Pierce found himself in a very similar situation later in the race. He was back there racing with Hudson O'Neal for position and wound up getting tangled up with Kyle Bronson. Officials there decided that Pierce kept his tires moving, kept his wheels spinning. I know each one of these series kind of has different rules of how they handle when a car spins, and does it get its place back and all that. And series officials ultimately decided that Pierce kept his wheels turning, so he was able to go back to seventh, where he wound up finishing the race to keep the points battle tight. Had he been put back in the back, things might have really gotten interesting then, because he probably would have finished much further back than seventh. So an interesting call, but the racing was pretty good and had the potential to get better at the front of the field, but every time the leaders would catch up to the tail of the field, there'd be a caution and resort everything. So Davenport was able to keep control, and I'm not saying that he wouldn't have kept control even in traffic, because we all know he's good no matter what situation you put him in. And before we close completely out, feature race was pretty good. The B main, the second B main, is one of the best races I've ever seen, that Ethan Dotson wound up winning. Bobby Pierce had to come from pretty far back just to make the field for the main event there on Friday night. So that's an interesting night at Senoia for sure. But anyway, you can check out the summary of the race on motorsportsreport.net, and we'll be there to cover it again tomorrow. I'm not actually there. I'm watching on Flow myself, but hopefully we'll keep you informed and as events take place. But until then, this is Richard Allen of motorsportsreport.net saying I will see you at the track.